A very warm welcome to the Farmsent Family and Friends, to the actual farm. I am beyond excited to open this Friends and Family round. And yes, we are actually at the farm. This is actually my house. We don't just talk the talk, we live the walk. So welcome. Yes, we are opening the Friends and Family round. Yes, this is going to have all the instructions, all the details, everything included. If you're somebody who's super excited, who's been along this journey for a long time, and you're just itching to go, then feel free to skip this entire video. There's instructions at the end. You can go to swap.farmsent.io. You can connect together your MetaMask wallet, or an easier wallet to use is Particle Wallet, because you can use that without having a seed phrase. Connect it up, click these buttons to add the networks, swap your USDC on ERC20 away, and you're good to go. All right. For the rest of the people, let's go through the details of exactly what we're talking about. What is Farmsent? Just to give you the full overview of all this stuff, right? In simple terms, Farmsent is the Airbnb of food supply. That's a simple way to understand it. Okay, it's a app and a marketplace that connects together farmers with wholesalers. In this way, it's bringing blockchain into the real world and making blockchain invisible in that whole process by allowing farmers to directly connect with wholesalers and even retailers eventually. It's going to allow food to reach tables more efficiently. And food security is built on the core of food reaching tables. Okay, so like we say, if food reaches tables, nations remain stable. That's the simplest way of looking at it. But me telling you is all one thing, but let me explain it to you. Or let me explain it to you. Let me show it to you.
Our food system is broken. Do you know how long our current food supply would last if a disaster hits tomorrow? It's 63 days, and that number is going down all the time. And one of the big reasons is that the global food supply is owned by a few giant conglomerates, and the farmer is the most exploited part of that chain. And that is exactly what we are about to change.
Saya bertani 40 tahun. Untuk kedepannya sangat sulit terasa karena perantara banyak mengambil untung dari kami. Dan kami khawatir anak-anak tidak mau lagi untuk jadi petani karena tidak mencukupi hasilnya. Kalau terus seperti ini, kita kehilangan budaya dan kehilangan tanah kita.
I grew up on a family farm in India in a mud house, and I can't even recognize it anymore. There's 570 million farmers in the world, and most of them are small family farms. And 85% of them aren't even financially sustainable. They don't farm to make a profit. They farm just to survive. And that's why the world's facing the levels of food security issues that we're facing today. But there is a solution to this, and it's a simple solution. If we connect the farmer directly with the wholesaler and provide them the right financing, they end up doubling their income and supporting this global and local food supply. But most importantly, they can provide a good life for their family and a good future for their kids.
Liquidity is a big challenge for the farmers worldwide. A middleman would get 40 to 50% discount only by offering cash to the farmer, and they would agree. This is what we want to fix. By introducing trade finance on blockchain and smart contracts, we enable the farmers to receive payment instantly, so they don't have to wait for 60 to 90 days till the goods are sold in the supermarket. Another big challenge is food supply chain lacks transparency. You just don't know where your food comes from. That is why we have introduced decentralized product passport, where we record each touch point from seed to scoop.
Dengan Farmsent kita bisa menjual langsung ke customer ya. Bisa harganya 3 kali lebih mahal. Itu sangat membantu kami anak-anak generasi muda untuk jadi bertani lagi dan membangun culture kita lebih dikenal oleh dunia. Dengan menambah lahan, kita bisa lebih dalam penghasilan. Dengan banyak penghasilan, kita bisa mempertahankan budaya kita dan keberlangsungan generasi kita untuk bertani.
Through Farmsent, we're making farming sustainable again. Not only does it improve the lives of millions of farmers like my family, it'll also bring the newer generations back into farming. So that 63-day countdown can not only be increased, but it can be stopped completely. What I really love about Peak is their beautiful vision of sharing the abundance from the machine economy, which lines up perfectly with our little world of humans. And it's not just us. We found so many synergies within the Peak ecosystem with projects from delivery and robotics. And this cohesive future is how we build that amazing world that we all envision.
I love that. And 4 million people have seen just that one video that was created by Peak and Farmsent together. Now, that is the idea, that if we let farmers connect directly with wholesalers, we provide the trade financing, we simplify the complexity, we automate the documentation, we take out all of the complexity involved in the supply chain, which you're going to see, and that is the secret of this whole project. Now, as I mentioned in that video, I'm not just some guy sitting in a high tower somewhere clicking buttons and inventing things. I am a farmer from India. I was raised in a mud house. I know what it's like to be hungry. I know what it's like to grow food, fields and fields of food, and barely be able to feed your own family. I was just sitting here. I live in the jungle, right? I live in the village, at the farms, because it's important to me to know what it's like in the real world and not just have some idealized version. But I was just talking to Booty, who's in this video, and I actually live with Booty here. And he's talking about how the middlemen are strategically placed by conglomerates to suppress the prices from farmers. So it's a strategic move that implements the old world structure, and we're going to change all that. Okay, so now, just looking forward, this problem is that there's too many middlemen in the way, unnecessarily. It's not about humans being involved in the chain, it's too many of them, and you're going to see that. It creates a financial inefficiency because it's just too crazy to manage all of these different things. It also messes with the quality of the food, so a lot of these countries can't even send their food to certain places just because the supply chain isn't efficient enough. And then there's traceability issues because you literally don't know where the food's coming from. Now, the World Bank has said that if you reduce trade barriers by just 1%, that increases global GDP by $1 trillion. By $1 trillion. And yes, if you're hearing cicadas go off in the background and all this stuff, welcome to the jungle. You're going to get the full nature experience today. But that's huge, right? Being able to make it more efficient is super important. So how do we do it? It's simple. We have a commodity marketplace that connects together farmers and wholesalers and retailers. And normally there's over 30% margins that the traditional system takes. We take a 10% fee. That flows back half to the token, and you're going to see exactly where it goes. We have automated trade financing, partially provided by MasterCard, but partially other players. Normally there's above 10% fees that get charged on that. We take a 5% fee, so we're more efficient than the traditional system. And then we have DPIN infrastructure, which you're going to see the details of, that tracks the supply chain and allows you to be able to see what's going on. And then monetization of that data goes a whole nother way. Now, that problem is a $1.7 trillion problem. And that's just in commissions and fees. That's a $20 trillion market, $20+ trillion market. And it's $1.7 trillion just on the trade. It's $46 billion on the trade financing, and traceability is a growing market that's at $15 billion. Now, us capturing 1% or 2% of that takes us to, $17 billion, $35 billion revenue per year type stuff. So this is where the total addressable market is absolutely insane. So how does it work? Well, before I just go into how does it work, let's look at the really big macro picture, okay? We are about to go into the biggest money printing cycle in history. This blue line is the US government's debts, it's just the interest on the debts. This white line is their balance sheet. This yellow line is the US government's balance sheet itself. The white line is the Fed's balance sheet. This last time, this bump was COVID. And you know how much money was printed then, and you know what it did to commodity prices, and you know what it did to supply chains. this is how much money needs to be printed now. So can you imagine what it's going to do to commodities? Can you imagine what it's going to do to crypto? Can you imagine what it's going to also do to supply chains and stability and all those things? The macro picture is a complete tailwind in this process. And that's also why a lot of these governments, a lot of these big players are so reticent to play with us and actually do this whole process. So now, the marketplace itself, the simplest way I can explain it to you is this, okay? Currently, this is how the supply chain works. The farmer has debt from a loan shark, okay? And the loan shark gives like 20% interest loans, which is how the farmers get kept in a debt loop. When the farmer creates supply, he basically sells it to the loan shark, who's kind of the local middleman, because the loan shark pays cash. So he sells it for stupid cheap just because the loan shark is the person that he wants to get a loan from again. Now that loan shark has a preferential agreement with a local warehouse. So he takes a cut and sells it to the local warehouse. That local warehouse has consolidation contracts with another middleman who is a bigger player in this space. The bigger middleman has larger supply contracts with big warehouses, and the big warehouses are the only ones that have the level of supply that can service the largest contracts. So he sells it on to the big warehouse. Now that big warehouse talks to a global shipper who knows how to do trade financing, licenses, documentation. He handles all the complexity. The warehouse doesn't do that. He consolidates the supply from a bunch of different warehouses and then is the owner of global contracts from wholesalers who've worked over a long time to build those relationships. And because of that, they just want to work with the shipper because they're like, we don't have anybody else to work with. Then the wholesaler sells it to the retailer, and the retailer sells it to the consumer. And as you can see, this is value. And at each part of the supply chain, the value is decreasing. If this is rice, the rice is rotting. If this is other stuff, it's just going bad over time as it's being shuttled from place to place just so that everybody can take a cut. And it's simply because the complexity along the way, each player handles part of the complexity. And in the end, the farmer and the consumer are the worst hit. The consumer pays the highest price, and the farmer gets the least amount of value, and everybody in the middle takes everything. Okay? Here's our system. The farmer signs up to the Farmsent marketplace. We have fiat on-ramps and off-ramps. Our token sits in the middle. We have supply consolidation systems that can connect together different warehouses so we have supply. There's global contracts from wholesalers and even retailers that are in the system. Automatic documentation on the blockchain. Trade financing automatically provided, automatically converted into the local currency. The licensing will be automated down the road. Shippers included in the process. Decentralized product passports. With just a completely simple app that a farmer can sign up for and just know, hey, I can sell something, and the complexity all gets handled. And then the system handles the complexity, then either through the shippers ships it on to the wholesalers or sometimes ships it on directly to the retailer. So the maximal amount of value reaches the consumer and the maximal amount of value reaches the farmer. We take a third less commissions on the commodity side and less than half the commissions on the trade financing side. So everybody's involved is wondering how this is even possible. This is how it's possible. It's not cutting out all the middlemen. If you're somebody who ships, if you're a warehouse, if you're somebody who's integral in the supply chain, this is all built around that. It's just cutting out all these extra people, so the loan sharks, because the farmer doesn't need loans anymore, because they're getting paid more. There's not extra middlemen. There's not people just holding paperwork and actually being able to, make money off the backs of people who have no idea how to use all of this stuff. Now, that's how this system itself works. Okay, the D-pin sensor side of things, a lot of people ask questions. It's basically us being able to basically the community will be asked, hey, there's a bunch of sensors that are needed for this field to generate data. Those sensors get issued, and the community will selectively buy those sensors, which is basically staking the Farmsent tokens on the sensors, and then those sensors will generate data. Well, let's even look at it. This is what it looks like. Okay. For example, investors can buy D-pin sensors and stake them. Okay. Investors can also buy the token and stake the token. Now, the commodity marketplace makes 10% profits. What's going to happen is 50% of those profits go back to the liquidity pool for the token itself to support the price. 50% of those profits get paid as USD yield to the DePIN sensor stakers and the token stakers. Okay, so USD yield, real yield being paid from real cash, from real value being generated for people. Then on the trade financing side, the system provides trade financing. We make 5% profits. Half of those profits flow back to the token as liquidity, and the other half gets split up between the DePIN sensor stakers and the token stakers to pay them yields. Simple, right? Now those sensors generate data, and that data is very useful. So that data goes to wholesalers so they know the quality of the goods that they're buying. It goes to consumers who are willing to pay 15% extra, up to 15% extra for goods that they know that they can track from farm to table. They know it's fairly sourced. They know the person who's growing it. That value mostly goes to the wholesaler, but the wholesalers are willing to pay extra for those goods. So some of it flows back into the system. And that's where our decentralized product passport system sits in the middle and makes that data available to everybody. You're going to see that in a second. But the real magic is that data, DePIN data, then goes into, let's say, Nucleize AI, who's one of our partners. And that data gets processed by the AI, and then consumers, governments, stakeholders, everybody in the supply chain, whoever wants to use that data, environmental agencies, the UN, everybody can use that data to be able to, for whatever use case they need. Now, that monetization of that data gets paid back as data monetization yield to the stakers. At the same time, in the peak ecosystem, also lovingly called the Picosystem, there's a bunch of different projects, right? Like, for example, Chirp are the ones who are building the sensors for us, or at least are slated to be the ones to build the sensors for us now. We're probably going to have a lot of different partners. Chirp is building the sensors, so they get the data. WeatherXM wants to put weather modules on top of our data, or on top of our sensors. So they'll get the data, but they'll also pay for the usage of the data. Mapmetrics wants to build maps around it. There's a cross-communication there. There's cross-pollination there, where we give them the data, they actually pay for the usage of the data, and it adds value on both sides. Drone Dash wants to bring drones into farming. Same thing, that data is useful. The whole ecosystem is built like this, where any projects that need that data, need the users, need all the resources we have, and have something to offer on the other side, we just share modularly and connect it all together. And all of that yield, the data monetization yield, the profits yield, the trade yield, it comes back to investors in some way, either through the DePIN sensors, or it comes back through the token staking, or it comes back through literally just supporting the price of the token. And this is how the system is built, so there's real value being generated from food being provided to people. Okay, that's why this is just literally one of my favorite things in the world right now. So this is how the cross-border flows happen. So it's me sitting in the middle like that with flowers around it, like that. So let's say a wholesaler wants to buy something, right? Let's say they buy in US dollar. And on this side, it's going to go to IDR, which is Indonesian rupiah. They buy it in US dollar. It could be US dollar, it could be Farmsent, Tether, Peak, we don't care. Whatever their preferred method of transfer is. Now that flows through many different systems depending on which place they buy. Now Ripple is building a whole global cross-border flow system. So we're going to partner with Ripple and use their system to transfer through the XRP system. MasterCard is going to act like an escrow. Some people use MasterCard system. Chainlink is going to control all the data in the middle. It could be other bank systems. This is basically agnostic. So any system that is part of this future financial system can be used for that value to flow over. Basically, somebody wants to buy in dollars. The trade financer in the middle handles all of the escrow and everything in the middle and the trade financing. That gets converted into IDR, and that goes to the farmer or partner or agencies or whoever is shipping from this side. Now, 10% of those fees go into the farmer token, right? That's where our token sits. So this is basically allowing the future financial system to run exactly the way that it's built, without having to do any regulatory stuff, and the value to flow into our token, and gives the option for the wholesalers and the farmers to be able to custody the token if they like. It might start raining, so I might have to run, but like I said, you're going to get the real jungle experience here, okay? But this is how the system itself works. Now, traction. This project has been running for 5 years. It was called Beanboat, and we have been shipping coffee for 5 years successfully from Colombia and overcompensating the farmers around 25% extra. Okay, so the business side of things we've been running for a long time, and we're experienced in that. And our co-founders are the founders who ran that business. Okay. Now, in Indonesia, we have onboarded 160,000 farmers already, with a further 250,000 coming in now that especially President Prabowo's company, Agrinas, is signing a deal with us. And then there's a pipeline of 1.7 million farmers coming down the pipe again. Okay. With China, we've entered a groundbreaking partnership to be part of the Belt and Road Initiative. This is signed, this is announced. So that is a huge, huge partnership that China is very excited to be a shipper and a receiver. And now we have 2 free trade zones that are signing up now, but I can't mention the names of who. But that is already on the way. Now, just to make it simple, because everybody's busy, these are the buying countries signed up right now. The brown countries are the shipping countries that are signed up right now. And the green countries are the ones that are in the works, on the way effectively. So you will get this deck, you will get all of these details. But, as far as traction goes, China's on board, Indonesia's on board, the Indonesian president is on board, his private company is on board. Indonesia's private company, Indonesia's President Prabowo's private company, Agrinas, has signed an MOU for 3 million hectares of land that they're giving for us to use, that we are going to basically make productive and make part of this ecosystem. The founder of APD, which is the Farmers Innovation Association effectively, but it's like the Farming Entrepreneurs Association of Indonesia, is Sabdo. He is one of our co-founders. That has 1.7 million farmers and village leaders as part of that association, and that is a public-private partnership that is focused on bringing innovation into the farming sector. And that is actually one of the core organizations that we're working through, so we don't have to handle all the complexity. They have initiatives to handle a lot of these things. In Bahrain, we have luxury retail Alosra that are piloting 3 products already, with a plan of 71 more products that they're going to pilot with us. And that's just the beginning of this process. That's $720,000 a year of revenue right now, but that's going to scale infinitely higher. And like you've already seen, we have a lot of the MENA, the Middle East and North Africa region, where food security is a massive, massive concern, already partnered with us. China's partnered, Indonesia's partnered, Colombia's partnered, India's on the way, and things are moving. Okay. Now, as far as partnerships within the blockchain space, MasterCard is a huge partnership. First of all, Peak. Thank you, Peak. If you guys are listening, your family and friends more than anything. The team at Peak, beyond just the technology being amazing, are just amazing. They are so amazing in supporting everything and just being as dedicated as our own teams in the success of Farmsent. So thank you so much. They opened the doors with MasterCard. So MasterCard wants to do escrow and trade financing, but even more importantly has made us part of their Start Path program, which is for startups, and is giving us access to their Sandbox program. They were happy to help us raise money, but we decided to only do the friends and family round. In this case, we have Unstoppable Domains. So Unstoppable has already given us the .farms domain. So all of our wallets, everything is running on .farms. No more complicated wallet addresses for people to be able to send, different things. The wallet is built by Arcana, which is a simple wallet. We're doing away with all the complexity that exists in the blockchain space. Simple, beautiful UX UI wallet where you don't have seed phrases. It's an account abstraction wallet where you can log in with your email. If you can't lose these words and lose all of your life savings anymore. The wallet address is .farms. Okay, not this complicated stuff. So mine is sim.farms. Feel free to send me stuff as you wish. There's no gas fees. We've literally made a gas station so that farmers don't have to pay gas fees anymore. Just simplifying all the complexity. There's built-in fiat on and off ramps, so we don't have to do all of this crazy stuff where you got to go to exchanges and regulatory blah blah blah, all these things. And then there's the partnerships within the ecosystem. So Chirp building our sensors, WeatherXM putting their stations on top, weather stations on top, generating weather data, which is helpful for us as well. Mapmetrics is building maps. They're partnered with everybody. OpenAI, some of the biggest players, Microsoft, are partnered with these guys. They're helping build that. And of course, the beautiful and the lovely Peak, love you guys, are partnered with in this whole process. And I had it somewhere here. Drone Dash, of course. Drone Dash is providing drones. They're partnered with different governments. They're partnering with us. Nuclei's AI is going to be world class. They are partnered with us to be able to process these things. Okay, you already know a lot of this stuff. Now, the question always comes up, yeah, but how are these things ready? Are these things developed? Good question, Sim. Yes, they are. These things are ready to launch, and here are the demos. Okay, the platforms are built. The contracts are being audited as we speak. They're being re-audited as we speak. And here comes the rain. So pardon me if I got to run. The marketplace demo. Here it is.
Hi there, I'm going to show you a demo on how our portal works. This portal is a wholesaler portal. So basically the buyer is a wholesaler who's buying from the farmer. So there are three key players in this: the farmer, the buyer, and the admin from Farmsent. So this side of the portal is for the buyer, who's basically logged in and can see his past orders and his initial request or the quotations and stuff. And he can browse through all the categories available, the products which are there for sales, and also for the products which are potentially will be sold after the harvest, right? So he can get details about the product. He can the countries, the farmer details, the badges the farmer has. So much of information in these reviews, and if he's buying, what is the schedule? All those kind of information is there. He places the order that goes to admin for a review, because we are expecting the farmers not to be so tech savvy. Once the admin reviews it, it passes it to the farmer, and farmer fulfills the order basically. So that is a short demo on how the buyer side works, and I'll show you how the admin functions further.
So that is the demo. The rain is coming in. I'm going to try to make it through this whole thing. If you hear rain in the background, welcome to the jungle, my lovelies. This is as authentic as it possibly gets. I'm going to sit here and just try to make it through. There is the admin side of the portal.
This is basically the admin side of the portal, which has got pretty much everything required for the operations, starting from the categories to order management to product, farmers, buyer, inventory, uh, including the shipping, country management, or KYC. Everything can be handled by the admin. So, for example, you can just look at what are the quotations which are in operation. You can see what are the things you can handle. For example, you can initiate the quotation here, or create a change request, and so pretty much everything is handled by the admin, because we are expecting the farmers not to be so tech savvy. And then once the admin creates any request or finalize the deal between the wholesaler and the farmer, that passes on to the farmer to fulfill the request basically. So this is all the operation for the admin side basically.
So that's the admin side, because this process requires admins to handle these large orders. Here's the deep inside.
Depths is our decentralized product passport or the traceability system. This is customer facing. So basically, we are expecting a QR code to be embedded into any product, and upon scanning of that QR code, you can see information about the product. I have a sample QR code before, so which is saved, and I'll be just seeing information about it. As you can see, this is has avocado, which was like exported from Colombia
And this was an actual trade. This isn't just a demo. We actually exported Hass avocados from Colombia.
to US, and all the details about the product, the storage conditions, which is approved by a person, shelf life, applications, nutrition factors. So much of information which is being given here. And this is the part where we are including more sensors and working with Peak Network to do deep in ecosystem to give end-to-end traceability, which we call seed to spoon traceability.
So it's not even just that the technology is ready. We are already using it. We are already shipping things. Where we are now is we are in the process of actually shipping things and actually connecting it to the blockchain and handling that entire complexity of connecting the real world to this space, right? So, like I said, we don't just talk the talk, we live the walk. And we're living in the rain right now. If you can hear that, that is the Bali rainforest sound that I love and live. So thank you for coming along that journey. Now, the real secret of any project, it's not the tech, it's the people. And the people on this project are the real magic. I mean, hearts of gold, super dedicated. The reason why we don't need to raise money, or we've only raised pennies compared to what other projects need to do this, is because we're all dedicated to this. We have all put our own blood, sweat, and tears, our own companies, our own time for years and years and years, simply because we love this project and never even had the conversation around what do I get, blah blah blah. We don't operate like that. We operate on a karmic principle. But this is the legendary founder Yog. He is, on one side, he's magic. Okay, every time I have a conversation with Yog, it's like, hey, I just spoke to the Dubai royal family about this, and I just, haha, you know what, this funny thing happened with the Prince of Bahrain, and haha, you know what, MasterCard called, and Walmart said, and we're like, no, and I'm like, man, how are you talking to these people? Listen, that's the secret. That's the magic of Yog. But beyond that, a golden-hearted human, okay, dedicated to the mission, experienced in building, serial entrepreneur, runs one of the most successful branding agencies, 4Spots, and at the same time has been building blockchain projects back to back. Okay, Salah is our silent, sweet, quiet one, but you know the quiet ones are the most powerful, right? Salah is the one who is running Beanboat, which is, he has the extensive experience in actually shipping coffee and the supply chain itself. So Salah he's a multifaceted tool, but that's one of the places where he excels. On the Colombian side, John is our co-founder from Colombia. He was handling the on-the-ground side in Colombia for the last 5 years and understands exactly what farmers are going through, understands exactly how to deal with people on the ground, and has successfully run the business itself. This guy, Sim, I've heard of him. He's alright. He's cool. Yeah, he talks a lot. If you don't know, I'm the Indonesian ambassador to the Global Blockchain Business Council. So my network extends to the WEF and beyond, and I'm able to connect together a global network of resources and companies and everything necessary to make this process happen. And I'm on the ground in Indonesia. I represent Indonesia in the Global Blockchain Business Council, GBBC, but also do relations with the government, the ministries, all that stuff. But I'm not the one leading up the Indonesian side, especially on the government side. That's Sabdo. Sabdo is the co-founder of Farmsent Indonesia, but he's also the founder of APD, which is a Farmers Innovation Association with 1.7 million farmers, and he's also magic, okay? Deeply dedicated. Everybody's deeply dedicated. Like insanely dedicated to this thing. But, you know, he works closely with the president, and the president's teams. He works closely with the ministries and associations and everything to tie it together. So on the ground, we have a team. And I mean, there's just so many amazing advisors and founders. But Ahmed is also part of Trump's Middle Eastern advisor team. So he's been very pivotal in advising a lot of different things. I could go on and on about the team, but this is what it takes to take a project of this scale to fruition. Okay, you need absolutely dedicated legends who are sitting in the rain, and hopefully you can hear them. Now, the launch itself. Here's the deal with the launch. Okay, the launch itself is happening right here. swap.farmsent.io. The link will be below. Now, we are not raising any VC money. We refuse to raise any VC money. We are only doing this family and friends round. There was one round before, and this is the family and friends round. 62% of the tokens are going to be issued at TGE, and 100% full unlock. No vesting schedules, no cliffs, no nothing. We're launching it fair, exactly like a meme coin. Okay. We're also giving away $50,000 of tokens, Farmsent and Peak tokens, to farmers who can't afford to buy into this round. Okay. The only people that are locked up are the team. We are the only ones who are not allowed to dump this thing. We have a 12-month cliff and a 22-month vesting schedule. You guys all get your tokens issued at launch. If you feel like dumping them, dump them. We don't care. If you look at this model, no matter what you do, the liquidity in the system is going to take this token, hopefully, to whatever level it's going to go to. So you have full freedom to launch it the way that you do. We're providing fair access to every single person, no matter what size you have. There's no minimums. There's no nothing. Okay, we're making this as fair as possible. Now, the details are that we're raising $2.5 million in this round. This will be the final round. The token price is 1.5 cents USD. And anybody who invests above $50,000 gets a DPIN node for free as part of that investment, as a thank you from us. Now, how this process works, you can see it's getting darker and darker and darker. Welcome to the real world. How to swap. Let's bring back our legendary co-founder to give you a detailed explanation of how to swap using MetaMask.
For those who are using MetaMask, it's very simple. Connect your wallet. MetaMask, I'm just connecting. Make sure that it's on Ethereum network, right? And input here the amount you want to buy. Okay, so that's your, sometimes it might just ask for spending cap. Just confirm, nothing to worry about. So maybe for you, it may show twice if you haven't given the spending authorization. It is perfectly fine. Now let it process. This is Ethereum network. So yeah, sometimes it may ask like that. If it is, you just sign twice. So you're sending one USDC. This is what it says. And then once the processing is done, there will be a notification here that it is successful. Right? After that, if you haven't added Peak network, you can just add to your MetaMask. Okay. I added the Peak network. And then I just will check once that it is there in the Peak network or not. Peak network is added, right? And now I'm going to just add the farmer token as well. And I added farmer token. Now, if you just look at here, my farmer token is already there. So simple.
Now, one thing to remember is if you go through this process and the farmer token doesn't show up instantaneously in your wallet, just know this, the token is on Peak Network. It's using layer 0 as a cross-chain compatibility system. They use listeners, so it sometimes takes some time to show up. So don't panic, don't freak out. The launch is still a few months away, okay? It's going to be fine. And if you have any questions, reach out through Telegram, and we're always happy to support you. Now, for some people, MetaMask is a little too complicated. I think so. So to keep it stupid simple, we have this wallet called Particle Wallet, which is an account abstraction wallet, which means you can sign up using your email. It's a lot simpler UI UX. Here's a demo of how to use this wallet in case that's your preference.
Guys, for all of those who are not so familiar or doesn't like to use MetaMask, I highly recommend you use Particle Network's wallet. You don't need to keep any seed phrase. When you sign with wallet.particle.network, you can use various combinations, emails, Google, if you want to use. And then you can always log in using your Google or any account you have created with. I don't recommend using social logins. Use by email. That is comparatively safer, and you don't need to store your seed phrase. So it is all easy. The good news is Peak Network, Ethereum, and all are already built in here. So if you look at, you can just search Peak Network here. Peak Mainnet, always remember, our token is in Peak Mainnet. So when you are there, for example, here I'm in Ethereum network, I have an USDC and some ETH. So you require USDC and some ETH for gas fees. And you don't need to have Peak Mainnet token because we are going to pay for gas fees automatically through the dApp. So you don't have to do anything. You just need the USDC and the ETH in your wallet to use the swap. How you are going to use it when you are going to the swap, you just click on Connect Wallet and use the Wallet Connect. When you click on Wallet Connect, it is going to ask you ways to connect to the wallet, right? Connect the wallet. Here you have a copy button. You just copy that. So when he says link copied, you come over here and you go to this thing and say paste wallet connect code, right? Just paste wallet connect code and connect it. Once you connect, this site is connected right now. After that, you can go back to the swap and keep the amount you want to buy. For example, 1 USDC I'm buying. And when it is processing this, it is going to give you to sign something in your particle network thing. So I just continue this. I say, yes, authenticate. Okay, sign, confirm. All right. Let me check right now. It has happened. It is processing. Okay. And once your token is processed, it will automatically appear in your Peak network. So when you go over here, let me approve. A few more is there, right? Let me approve, confirm. You see, it's super easy here. If I just go back, say transaction is successful. If I just go to Peak, okay, Peak network, Peak mainnet, you will see that my farmer token is already there here. Okay, so it's very easy. You don't have to do too many things. For those, if they don't see the farmer token, all you have to do is to add the token, custom token, and paste the token address, which I will share with you. And it is super easy.
I'll be honest, in this demo, MetaMask ended up being simpler because we just have buttons set up. This wallet is easier to set up because you don't need seed phrases, so for beginners it tends to be easier. Now, within some time, maybe a week, maybe 2 weeks, excuse me, the Farmsent wallet is also going to go live, but there's no guarantees that the round is even open by then. So that wallet is also going to be easy. Feel free to use these things. If you have issues, let us know. Chat out to us. We're always here. We have teams available to support you as well. Another question that comes up along the way is, can I dig deeper into all of these things? So yes, if you let us know through the chat, there's a whole deal room that we have available for you where you can actually go in and dig through it. This is for serious investors only, so please make sure if you're investing a few $100s, we're not able to provide the deal room. This is for the larger investors, but do let us know the amount that you'd like to invest, and we're happy to provide that to you. The valuation is 32 million FDV at launch. So we're launching at a 32 million valuation, and the circulating supply valuation is just shy of $22 million. And the timeline itself is right now, Peak and the team are getting us into their Q1 cohort of launch participants in so we're speaking to BitGet with the intention of speaking to KuCoin and Gate.io. Those are the three exchanges we're looking at. Nothing is set in stone yet, but those are the exchanges that we're targeting and are able to access. We also have good relationships with Bybit. I'm sure we could get that done as well. But my target is somewhere around Q2, just because of liquidity. I want to make sure that we have the most amount of liquidity, and we launch in the heat of the bull run. So I don't want to keep you for too long. Hopefully this has been powerful, and hopefully you can understand the power that this project has to actually change lives and how much we genuinely care about doing that. And we're not here to, have the traditional kind of crypto way of doing things. We do it first and we show it to you then. Let's go. Let's change people's lives and let's feed kids. Thank you so much for coming along. Much love, and I'll see you very soon.